Not all vaccines are safe for all people, at all ages, in all quantities. Full stop. There is no question that scientifically and medically that statement can be proven with ample evidence. In fact, U.S. taxpayers have compensated the families of vaccine-injured children to the tune of $4 billion in just the past 30 years. But unfortunately, even a statement as common sense as that is treated by many online as dangerous. And now, tech companies like Facebook and Google, they have taken the stand to help purge the world of what they call vaccine denial. So, does that action make our society or world a safer place? No. Let's give it a reality check.
Reality Check with Ben Swann.
Well, last week, a Senate panel warned lawmakers about the dangers of what they call false information about vaccines and called for a national campaign similar to the one against smoking to counter what they call the public health threat posed by anti-vaccine groups. Yes, the claim is that there is a public health threat because parents across the U.S. and frankly around the world believe that not all vaccines are safe for their kids. Now, I've reported on this issue for years, but now the fight over good information about vaccines has reached a whole new level. Not only is disagreement and debate over the safety of vaccines being called a public health threat, but big tech companies like Facebook, Instagram, and Google, they have announced that they will squash the voices of those who argue for vaccine choice. From the Washington Post, quote, in an effort to curb anti-vaccination conspiracy theories and misinformation, Facebook announced Thursday it will no longer recommend the offending pages and groups and will block advertisements that include false content about vaccines. The company will also stop recommending anti-vaccination content on Instagram, end quote. Well, meanwhile, Congressman Adam Schiff of California is calling on Google and Amazon to restrict anti-vaccination content from search results. Now, look, every time I do a story on this, I hear from hundreds of people who insist that vaccines are safe and they protect lives. And that may be true. But more than that, there is much to debate here, no question. And here's the clear problem with the steps being taken by tech companies and with the claim that anti-vaccination beliefs, that all of them are a public health threat. Vaccines can and do cause harm. That's not a conspiracy theory. In 1986, the U.S. Congress created something called the National Childhood Vaccine Injury Act. That alone is worthy of a story because what most Americans don't know is that a family who has a child injured by a vaccine cannot simply sue the vaccine maker. Can't happen. Under this 1986 law, Congress took power away from families and instead created something called a vaccine court, if you will. So, if all vaccines are safe, why does this court exist? According to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, since 1988, over 20,000 petitions have been filed with the VICP. And over that 30-year period, 17,000 petitions have been adjudicated, 6,000 plus have been determined to be something that could be compensated, while 11,000 were dismissed. Total compensation paid over the life of this program, get this, is approximately $4 billion. $4 billion have been paid in taxpayer money to families of children who have been determined by a U.S. government agency to have been injured by a vaccine. Now, why it matters to get this story right is because, since Vaccine Court was established 30 years ago, the number of vaccines being given to American children has tripled. There are millions of parents who want to delay vaccines. There are millions who don't trust vaccines at all at any age. And there are tens of millions who don't question them at all. But right now, the argument coming from government and from big tech is that there can be no debate. And anyone who disagrees with injecting their children with any number of vaccines at one time is a danger, not just to themselves and their families, but to all of society. When tech companies are being employed to silence debate, to silence discussion, to silence parents, they attack the most basic freedoms of parents to make decisions about their children's health. Regardless of where you stand on this issue, to believe that people don't even have the right to debate the issue, well, that is the very definition of tyranny. That's Reality Check. Let's talk about it on social media, if we still can.